Coming, everybody. It's been a long time. It's been a couple of years since I've been to this fine bookstore. Some of you I recognize from last time. Thanks for coming tonight. I just want to say a few brief words, and then I was hoping we could do kind of a Q&A, answer questions about things that I might know something about, or perhaps things that I don't know anything about, because I can do that pretty well. How many of you are actually in possession of Good Eats the Early Years? 3.8 pounds.
That big book.
Put depleted uranium into the ink. Make that a heavy book, because everybody knows that heavy books are more important. And therefore get better critical reviews and stuff like that. I do want to explain a little bit about why there is a Good Eats the Early Years. Usually when you have a cooking show, the second you get renewed for a second season, you pull the trigger on a book deal. That's just kind of the standard of the industry. And I made the decision a long time ago that the only way I was going to do a Good Eats book was if we made it 10 years on the air, because I thought only then would we really have anything worth talking about. So we made it. We made it 10 years as of this July. For those of you with absolutely nothing to do on Saturday night, our big live 1-hour special, which actually was live when we did it, but live, will be Saturday night at 10 o'clock. For those of you that are nothing to do, stay out, watch TV. Anyway. So we made it 10 years, and I thought that it was really necessary to have a little time and space, because what I wanted to do is look back and have kind of like remastering your old hits, have space so that you could have feedback over the years, and of course you change over time, and so having that separation, that retrospection, allowed me to go back and write something that I thought was actually kind of new. Most of the applications, of course, we don't like the word recipe on Good Eats. We call them applications. All of the applications in the book have been completely reworked and rewritten. In a lot of cases, it was just a matter of looking back and saying, why did I do that? I didn't need that. Sometimes it was looking at feedback, emails and letters from people who had seen the shows and tried the dishes. And every now and then there'd be a troublesome one that was like, you could start getting letters, well, I'm sure I didn't do something right, but blah, 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 blah. And you start kind of collecting them until you get about, 20 of them, and you're like, okay, something's wrong. And they say, oh, I'm sure it was me. And you're like, no, it's us. It was us. But see, in the early days of the show, I was it. I mean, I was the recipe developer, and the recipe tester was my dog. Fortunately, we learned after about the second season, it's very easy to take for granted the things that you just intrinsically know how to do, or automatically know to do, whether it's bringing butter to room temperature, or any number of habits that you have, and you don't take them into account. And sometimes that is enough to make a dish not be successful for at least some part of the time. So the goal in this book is to finally take the application form on paper and make it foolproof, make it absolutely 100% successful for everybody that does it. And I can't, let's put it this way, if anything doesn't work for you in this book, it's you. It's not me. It's your fault. You should just accept that, turn the page, try another one. In some cases, it was just a matter of making some improvements, or your taste changed over the years and you become more confident. I think in the earlier shows, I used sometimes too many spices. I used too many herbs because I wasn't really sure of myself. Ma'am, are you already bored? That's a big yawn. Yeah, you. You're what? Oh, it's all. When I'm amazed, I always yawn. The correct answer would be that you camped out here last night. If you need to lay down or something, just you got room. Here. Where was I? Oh yeah, herbs and spices. Too gosh darn many herbs and spices. So a lot of the recipes got pared down. Sometimes changed a little bit. And then we also added applications. When you're working on a show, it's really easy to fall in love with certain applications, only to find out that you can't really use them in the shows because you don't have time. And so a lot of the chapters have a little section called 10 minutes more, which is what we would have done if we had 10 minutes more, which Food Network just wouldn't give me, no matter how many times I asked. That's the way they are. TV. They didn't want a 37-minute show. Although I hear in Europe that does it. What's about commercials? What? Get rid of the commercials? This isn't HBO. We love our commercials. I wish that I could deliver a show that was even shorter, so we'd have more commercials. Like a 12-minute Good Eats episode. So just pack in those Olive Garden spots. One of these days I'm actually going to do a show about a bottomless bread bowl. Just to segue into the commercials. Has anybody ever noticed Olive Garden, a lot of Olive Garden commercials? The funny thing is that my father-in-law directs those commercials. So he's living off me. That's the way I like to look at it. So the only other thing that's in this book, anybody actually read it yet? While you were sitting there. Put that up. Right over Farrah Fawcett. Anyway, so this is volume 1. I'm just starting to finish or try to get close to finishing up the manuscript for volume 2, Good Eats the Middle Ages. And then there hopefully will be volume 3, Good Eats Tomorrow and Beyond. The problem is we don't know exactly when it's going to end.
Never.
So we don't know exactly how far.
Never.
Never?
Never.
It'll end. I'll be old maybe and losing my teeth. Hopefully when I'm ready to stop, you guys will be more than happy for me to go. Like, yeah, that's enough of that. Watch for these trouble spots. Watch for me getting a band. That would be a problem. Because it usually means you're not wanting to work quite as hard, you know. That's not true. Anyway, enough of me chattering. I would love to take some questions and comments from the floor. We have a microphone. All I ask is that you raise your hand, and if you're sitting, I would ask that you stand up to address me. We'll start with the